a tragedy and a personal loss, it's so much, I can't imagine doing it without faith. I think that if a person who doesn't believe that there is some plan, that there is a divine plan to everything, I think that it would be really impossible to cope with what happens to us. Because if we look at it as some kind of a senseless fluke that happened, a person can go crazy just thinking to himself how, maybe this would happen, how it could be avoided, and if maybe somebody would, they say that there is an old custom that when you get up from Shiva, people say L'chaim. And one of the more sort of humorous answers to it, in a way, that people say Shiva, it's human nature to keep on thinking. What would happen if there was an accident, the person just would, maybe go 5 minutes later, or maybe it would look on a different side of the road, and torture yourself thinking of how could this tragedy be avoided. So when you get up from Shiva, you have to say L'chaim to wash away these thoughts that really are not in sync with our belief, even though natural, nobody judges one for thinking this way, but nevertheless, it's something that we have to be able to recognize that there's a plan and a picture, much bigger picture, far beyond what we can see. I can only talk for myself, and you have to work on your faith. It doesn't always come as natural as easily. The reason why I think that it really helps one to cope is because that as much as what happened is devastating and incomprehensible, but faith allows a person to live with unanswered questions. Even though those questions can't be answered why these things happen, but with faith you know that life and this world is far beyond than our limited vision allows us to see. Faith allows also a person to act. I had to make a decision on early Monday morning. I spent the whole night after what happened, and I was on the beach, and I didn't yet know about the full devastation of what happened. I was with Ellie, and I was there when they already gave the verdict of what happened to him. I knew at the time, about 2 other people for sure. And afterwards, I took my daughter to the hospital. And at the time, while she was there was a procedure to take out the bullet from her, she was asking me specifically about 2 people. She was asking what she already knew. It took her time, but she already understood what happened to Ellie. And she was asking about Label, the boy that was working for us, that was wounded very badly, and we didn't know what happened to him. I saw the ambulance taking him away, and about Yaakov Levitin. She wanted to know what happened to them. And at the time, the rumor was that Yaakov was okay, because there was another Yaakov that was wounded, but his life wasn't in danger. And I don't remember a lot of things that happened at night. Is fog and something which I really can't recall most of the things that happened. But I recall somehow getting through to the emergency room where Labor was, and I convinced them they didn't want to put me through. I told them that I'm responsible for it to his parents. I recall talking to them and finding out that thank God he's going to live now, to call his parents. And the first thing I had to tell them was that Labor was okay, because if you tell them he was shooting for those few seconds before you tell them he was okay, you can imagine what can happen to the parents of a child. Before that, I had a terrible duty to tell my granddaughter, Ellie's oldest, who was in Israel at the time, and to tell Ellie's parents. And we came home at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had to light the Hanukkah later. And then I started to call to find out what happened to people in the community, because a lot of people were unaccountable for. And around 2:30 in the morning, I started to get phone calls, that maybe not everything was okay with Yaakov. So I waited till 6 in the morning. I called up Renee, and she told me the terrible, terrible news about him. And when he came to, I didn't sleep the whole night, and I really didn't have the koyach to go to shul. I thought maybe I'll call and get somebody to bring my talis and tefillin and just stay home and daven at home. And I thought to myself, I have to make a decision how I'm going to, what my life will be now, and what I have to do, and what is my responsibility. And this was also part of my faith that, we can't help, we don't decide what happens to us, but we can decide how we react and what we do about it, and how we behave afterwards. And I thought to myself that, if there'll be a million, there were 2 million at 7 o'clock in the morning, and afterwards at 8:30, I thought, if people come to shul, I'm not there, I have to be there. I came in, the shul was packed. People came from all over the place. And after that, I spoke. I don't remember what I said. I know that afterwards it was said around. Next few days I had to go to 10 Levias and speak in almost all of them. And it's something that, in a way it's natural to be able to respond in such a way. But again, I believe that it's one's faith that you really have to make a decision of how we're going to react to things that we don't control. Do we have questions? 100%. Sometimes do we feel we're not okay? 100%. But when it comes to action, we have to go on, and we have to know the emes. Sometimes not everybody has the Yetzirah, there's sometimes different thoughts, different ideas that may be in conflict. One of the things that helped me is to, when I spoke in different places in shul, when I gave my drushes, even though it sounded like I'm talking to my audience, I was really talking to myself and trying to internalize all the things that you're supposed to believe, that you're supposed to, live by, to make sure that those ideas and ideals really will be part of my being and my essence, what I'm doing. But otherwise, being busy, being useful, being there for other people, but definitely something which helps a person to cope with personal tragedies. There's a lot more to say, but this is a nutshell.